Dr. Marcus Chen stood at the podium, his hand slightly shaking as he looked at the 1,000 alien faces staring back at him. The Galactic Science Conference was the biggest meeting of scientists in the known universe, and he was about to present something that would shock everyone. The huge conference room floated high above the planet Nexus, inside a space station that looked like a giant glass bubble. Scientists from hundreds of different species filled the seats. Some had blue skin, others had 4 arms, and a few floated in special tanks of water. Marcus cleared his throat and began his presentation. A large screen behind him lit up with images of Earth, the blue and green planet that humans called home. For the past 10 years I have studied over 3,000 inhabited planets, Marcus said. His voice echoed through the translator devices everyone wore, and I have found something that makes Earth completely unique. The audience leaned forward, interested. Marcus clicked to the next slide, showing a graph with thousands of dots. Each dot represented a planet. Every single inhabited planet we know has natural disasters, Marcus continued. Earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, tsunamis, these are normal for planets with life. But look at this. He pointed to one dot that stood alone. It was Earth. Earth has no record of major natural disasters in its entire history. None. Zero. The room erupted in noise. Aliens spoke in their languages, creating a buzz of disbelief. A tall, bird-like scientist stood up. That's impossible, the bird alien squawked. All planets have geological activity. You must have made a mistake in your research. Marcus had expected this reaction. He clicked to another slide showing detailed geological data. I thought so too at first, he admitted. But I checked and checked again. I looked at fossil records, rock formations, and historical data. Earth has never had a major natural disaster. Another alien, this one with purple tentacles, raised a limb. But what about your planet's weather? Surely you have storms. We have rain and snow, Marcus explained. But nothing destructive. No massive hurricanes that destroy cities. No earthquakes that kill thousands. It's as if something is protecting Earth. The room fell silent as everyone tried to understand what this meant. It was then that Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stood up from her seat in the front row. She was the human representative to the Galactic Council, and her word carried weight. Dr. Chen is correct, Elena said firmly. I have brought historical records from Earth dating back thousands of years. We have stories of floods and small storms, but nothing like the catastrophes other planets experience. She walked to the podium and stood beside Marcus. I have also brought geological surveys from our best scientists. They confirm Dr. Chen's findings. A respected alien scientist, Professor Krilthax, raised his hand. His species was known for their expertise in planetary science. If what you say is true, Krilthax said slowly, then Earth violates everything we know about planetary development. There must be an explanation. Marcus nodded. That's exactly why I brought this to the conference. We need help understanding why Earth is different. The room buzzed again with discussion. Scientists began forming theories. Some suggested Earth might have unusual core properties. Others wondered if its moon played a role. But none of the ideas fully explained the complete absence of disasters. As the presentation ended, scientists crowded around Marcus and Elena. Everyone wanted to see the data for themselves. Some were skeptical, others excited by the mystery. Dr. Zora, a leading xenogeologist from the water world of Aquaria, approached Marcus. Her blue skin glowed softly as she spoke. If your findings are correct, she said, this could change our understanding of planetary science forever. We need to investigate Earth directly. Marcus smiled, relieved that someone was taking him seriously. That's exactly what I hoped you would say. Earth is open to a full scientific investigation. As the conference day ended, scientists from across the galaxy began planning. They would send teams to Earth to solve this impossible mystery. None of them could have guessed that the answer would be more shocking than they could imagine. Dr. Marcus Chen stood at the podium, his hand slightly shaking as he looked at the 1,000 alien faces staring back at him. The Galactic Science Conference was the biggest meeting of scientists in the known universe, and he was about to present something that would shock everyone. The huge conference room floated high above the planet Nexus. Inside a space station that looked like a giant glass bubble, scientists from hundreds of different species filled the seats. Some had blue skin, others had 4 arms, and a few floated in special tanks of water. Marcus cleared his throat and began his presentation. A large screen behind him lit up with images of Earth, the blue and green planet that humans called home. For the past 10 years, I have studied over 3,000 inhabited planets, Marcus said. His voice echoed through the translator devices everyone wore. And I have found something that makes Earth completely unique. The audience leaned forward, interested. Marcus clicked to the next slide, showing a graph with thousands of dots. Each dot represented a planet. Every single inhabited planet we know has natural disasters, Marcus continued. Earthquakes, volcanoes, hurricanes, tsunamis. These are normal for planets with life. But look at this. He pointed to one dot that stood alone. It was Earth. Earth has no record of major natural disasters in its entire history, none, zero. The room erupted in noise. Aliens spoke in their languages, creating a buzz of disbelief. A tall, bird-like scientist stood up. That's impossible, the bird alien squawked. All planets have geological activity. You must have made a mistake in your research. Marcus had expected this reaction. He clicked to another slide, showing detailed geological data. I thought so too at first, he admitted. But I checked and checked again. I looked at fossil records, rock formations, and historical data. Earth has never had a major natural disaster. Another alien, this one with purple tentacles, raised a limb. But what about your planet's weather? Surely you have storms. We have rain and snow, Marcus explained, but nothing destructive. No massive hurricanes that destroy cities. No earthquakes that kill thousands. It's as if something is protecting Earth. The room fell silent as everyone tried to understand what this meant. It was then that Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stood up from her seat in the front row. She was the human representative to the Galactic Council, and her word carried weight. Dr. Chen is correct, Elena said firmly. I have brought historical records from Earth dating back thousands of years. We have stories of floods and small storms, but nothing like the catastrophes other planets experience. She walked to the podium and stood beside Marcus. I have also brought geological surveys from our best scientists. They confirm Dr. Chen's findings. A respected alien scientist, Professor Krill Thax, raised his hand. His species was known for their expertise in planetary science. If what you say is true, Krill Thax said slowly, then Earth violates everything we know about planetary development. There must be an explanation. Marcus nodded. That's exactly why I brought this to the conference. We need help understanding why Earth is different. The room buzzed again with discussion. Scientists began forming theories. Some suggested Earth might have unusual core properties. Others wondered if its moon played a role. But none of the ideas fully explained the complete absence of disasters. As the presentation ended, scientists crowded around Marcus and Elena. Everyone wanted to see the data for themselves. Some were skeptical, others excited by the mystery. Dr. Zora, a leading xenogeologist from the water world of Aquaria, approached Marcus. Her blue skin glowed softly as she spoke. If your findings are correct, she said, this could change our understanding of planetary science forever. We need to investigate Earth directly. Marcus smiled, relieved that someone was taking him seriously. That's exactly what I hoped you would say. Earth is open to a full scientific investigation. As the conference day ended, scientists from across the galaxy began planning. They would send teams to Earth to solve this impossible mystery. None of them could have guessed that the answer would be more shocking than they could imagine. Back at the Surface Research Station, Dr. Nora Ahmed couldn't sleep. The images of those giant crystals filled her mind. She sat in the lab, studying the data they had collected. The numbers didn't make sense with any known science. Still working? Captain Jack Turner asked, entering the lab with 2 cups of coffee. Nora took the coffee gratefully. I can't stop thinking about those crystals. Look at this. She pointed to her screen. The energy patterns match nothing in our databases. Not human technology, not any alien tech we know. Jack sat beside her. Thicksall thinks they're machines. Actual machines, not natural crystals. He's right, Nora said. I've been running tests on the samples we brought back. The molecular structure is impossible. It's like someone designed matter itself to do specific tasks. The door opened and Thicksall entered, his 4 eyes looking tired. I have completed the age analysis, he announced. The results are disturbing. How old are they? Jack asked. Older than I first thought. At least 600 million years. They were placed here before complex life evolved on your world. Nora's coffee cup froze halfway to her mouth. That means whoever built them knew Earth would develop life. They prepared the planet for us. Not just prepared, Thicksall corrected. They protected it. These machines have been keeping Earth safe for hundreds of millions of years. Marcus Chen rushed into the lab, his face pale. You all need to see this now. They followed him to the main control room. The wall screen showed satellite images of Earth. Red dots appeared all over the planet's surface. What are those? Jack asked. Crystal locations, Marcus explained. After your discovery, we started deep scanning the entire planet. There are thousands of them, maybe millions. They form a perfect grid. Nora studied the pattern. It's not random. Look how they're positioned. Each crystal is exactly where it needs to be to control specific geological processes. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez joined them, looking worried. The Galactic Council wants answers. Other species are getting nervous. If someone had the power to do this to Earth, what else could they do? We need to understand how they work, Jack said. Can we activate them? Control them? Thicksall shook his head. The technology is beyond us. It would be like asking a child to operate a starship. As they discussed options, one of the monitoring stations began beeping. A young technician named Kyle Peters called out, "The crystals are doing something." Everyone crowded around his station. The energy readings from the crystals were changing. The steady pulse they had observed was becoming irregular. What's happening? Elena asked. Unknown, Thicksall replied. But the pattern suggests communication? Nora's eyes widened. They're sending signals to each other. The whole network is activating. Because of us? Jack wondered. Did our investigation trigger something? Before anyone could answer, the main screen lit up with a new image. It showed one of the crystals deep underground. But now it was glowing, brighter, pulsing with purpose. Temperature readings are stable, Kyle reported. Whatever they're doing, it's not affecting the surface. Marcus pointed to a graph on his tablet. The signals are getting stronger. They're forming patterns, mathematical sequences. It's a message, Nora realized. They're trying to communicate. With who? Jack asked. Us? Or someone else? The room fell silent as the implications sank in. The ancient machines that had protected Earth for millions of years were waking up, but nobody knew why. We need to decode these signals, Elena decided. If these machines are trying to tell us something, we need to understand what it is. Nora nodded and began setting up equipment. I'll need help. This is beyond any code breaking we've ever done. I will assist, Thicksall offered. My people have experience with ancient technologies. As the team worked through the night, the crystal network continued its mysterious activation. Deep beneath Earth's surface, systems that had slept for eons were coming alive. The machines that had kept Earth safe were preparing for something. None of the scientists could know that they were about to uncover the biggest secret in Earth's history. The truth about who built the crystals, and why, would change everything. They thought they knew about humanity's place in the universe. Communications officer Melissa Park had been working on the crystal signals for 3 days straight. Her eyes were red and tired, but she couldn't stop. The patterns were becoming clearer, and she was close to understanding them. Melissa, you need to rest, Dr. Nora Ahmed said, bringing her another cup of coffee. I can't, Melissa replied. Look at this sequence. It's repeating every 12 hours, but with small changes each time. It's like it's trying different ways to talk to us. Thicksall entered the room, his gray skin looking paler than usual. I have news from the Galactic Council. They are sending more ships. Many species want to study these crystals. Captain, Jack Turner followed behind him. That could be a problem. We don't know how the crystals will react to more interference. Suddenly, Melissa jumped up from her chair. I've got it. The signals aren't random. They're using mathematics as a language. Prime numbers, geometric sequences, the Fibonacci series. It's all here. Everyone gathered around her screen. The patterns she had decoded showed clear mathematical concepts, arranged in ways that suggested intelligence. Can you translate it? Jack asked. Melissa nodded and began typing. After several minutes, words appeared on the screen. Sanctuary protocol active, preservation system operational. Caretakers acknowledged. The room went silent. Nora was the first to speak. Caretakers? Does it mean us? There's more, Melissa said, continuing to decode. Species development optimal. Protection maintained. Awaiting command authorization. Marcus Chen joined them, having heard the excitement. It thinks we're the caretakers, but we didn't build this system. Melissa kept working. More words appeared. Preservers departed. New caretakers evolved as planned. Earth sanctuary successful. The meaning hit them all at once. Jack spoke what everyone was thinking. Someone built this system to protect Earth while intelligent life evolved. They were waiting for us to develop enough to take over. The preservers, Nora whispered. They terraformed Earth, installed this protection system, and then left. They made Earth a sanctuary for us. Thixol's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. This explains everything. No natural disasters because the planet was designed to be safe. A perfect environment for species development. More text appeared on Melissa's screen. Warning, system maintenance required, power levels declining, caretaker intervention needed. Elena Rodriguez had been listening quietly. Now she stepped forward. It's asking for our help. After 600 million years, the system needs maintenance. But we don't know how it works, Marcus protested. We could make things worse. Melissa continued translating. Instruction protocols available, genetic markers confirmed, access granted to level 1 controls, genetic. Markers? Nora asked. It's scanning our DNA? The answer came immediately. Human genetics contain preserver markers, planned evolutionary path confirmed. Jack felt his head spinning. They didn't just protect Earth, they guided our evolution. We have their DNA markers because they planned for us to inherit this system. The crystal's glow intensified and new data flooded their screens. Technical diagrams, energy flow charts, and maintenance procedures appeared. It was an instruction manual for the planetary protection system. This is incredible, Thixol said. The preservers left everything we need to maintain the system. They trusted that humans would evolve to the point where they could understand it. Elena made a decision. We need to inform world leaders immediately. This isn't just a scientific discovery. It's our inheritance and our responsibility. Nora was studying the technical data. The power decline is real. If we don't start maintenance soon, the system could fail. Earth would experience natural disasters for the first time in its history. How long do we have? Jack asked. According to these readings, about 6 months before critical systems begin shutting down, Nora replied. Marcus looked at the team. 6 months to learn technology that's 600 million years old and save the planet. No pressure. As they began planning their next steps, none of them noticed that the crystal network was sending signals beyond Earth. The preservers might have left, but their monitoring systems were still active. Somewhere in deep space, ancient machines registered that Earth's caretakers had finally awakened to their destiny. The ground shook beneath Tokyo, sending people running into the streets. It was small, just enough to rattle windows, but it was the first earthquake in recorded history. Around the world, similar reports came in. Miami felt tremors. London experienced a mild shake. The impossible was happening. Engineer Carlos Rivera watched the data streams with growing alarm. He had been brought in to help understand the preserver technology, and now he was seeing the protection system fail in real time. The power grid is destabilizing, he reported to the emergency meeting. World leaders filled the screens on the walls, all looking worried. How bad will it get? asked President Lisa Walker from Washington. Carlos pulled up his calculations. If we do nothing, we'll see major disasters within 3 months. Earthquakes, volcanoes, tsunamis, everything Earth has been protected from. Dr. Nora Ahmed added, the crystal network is trying to compensate, but it's running out of energy. It's like a battery that hasn't been charged in millions of years. Captain Jack Turner stood up. We need to fix this now. The instruction protocols the crystals gave us. Can we use them? It's not that simple, Carlos explained. The technology is beyond anything we've seen. I understand maybe 10% of it. Thixel spoke from his position at the alien delegation table. My people offer assistance. We have experience with ancient technologies, though nothing this advanced. Another tremor shook the building. This one was stronger. In the distance, sirens began to wail. We're running out of time, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez said. Carlos, what do you need? Access to the main control crystal, he replied. According to the protocols, there's a master control center. If we can reach it, we might be able to restart the system. Where is it? Jack asked. Carlos brought up a map. Under Antarctica, the exact center of the continental plate. The room fell silent. Antarctica was the most hostile environment on Earth. Getting there would be hard. Working there would be harder. I'll lead the mission, Jack volunteered. Who's with me? Nora raised her hand. I'm in. As am I, Dixall added. This concerns all species now. If Earth fails, it could affect the entire galactic community. Within hours, a team assembled. The best engineers, scientists, and survival experts from Earth and alien worlds prepared for the journey. They loaded equipment onto specially modified vehicles that could handle the Antarctic conditions. As they flew south, the world watched and waited. More tremors occurred. A small volcano in Indonesia showed signs of activation. Weather patterns began to shift unpredictably. The team landed on the ice and immediately faced brutal conditions. Even with advanced gear, the cold was intense. They set up a base camp and began drilling through miles of ice to reach the control crystal. Energy readings are strong here, Melissa reported, monitoring the signals. We're right above it. Days passed as they drilled. The news from around the world got worse. Coastal cities reported unusual tides. Mountain ranges showed signs of instability. The planet was waking up from its long, protected sleep. Finally, they broke through to a massive cavern. The control crystal stood before them, a towering structure of blue light that pulsed weakly. It's beautiful, Nora whispered. And dying, Carlos added grimly. Look at the energy flows. It's operating at maybe 5% capacity. They approached, carefully. The crystal recognized their presence and symbols appeared in the air. Instructions, waiting for them. This is it, Carlos said. According to the protocols, we need to initiate a restart sequence, but there's a problem. What problem? Jack asked. The power required is enormous. We need to channel energy from all the crystals in the network simultaneously. If we make a mistake, we could destroy the entire system. The ground shook again, stronger this time. Ice fell from the cavern ceiling. We don't have a choice, Elena said through their communication. Lincoln, the world is counting on you. Carlos nodded and began the sequence. Around the planet, every crystal in the network began to glow brighter. The ancient machines prepared for their first maintenance in 600 million years. Here we go, Carlos said, pressing the final command. Let's hope the preservers knew what they were doing when they chose us. Admiral Sarah Thompson sat in a secure room deep beneath the Pentagon. The folder in front of her was marked, Classified, Level Omega. She had known this day might come, but she had hoped it never would. Bring them in, she ordered. Captain. Jack Turner and his team entered, still wearing their Antarctic gear. They looked tired but confused about why they had been brought here instead of continuing their work. Admiral, we need to get back to the Crystal Network, Jack protested. The restart is only partially complete. Sarah held up her hand. Sit down, Captain, all of you. There's something you need to know. She opened the folder and spread old documents across the table. Some were handwritten, others were faded photographs. The oldest dated back to 1947. Roswell wasn't about aliens, Sarah began. It was about the crystals. Dr. Nora Ahmed leaned forward. What do you mean? In 1947, a crystal fragment was found in New Mexico. It activated when humans approached it. The military recovered it and began studying it in secret. That was the beginning of Project Preservation. She showed them a black and white photo of scientists examining a small glowing crystal. For decades, we've known about the network. We've been maintaining it in our limited way using knowledge gained from various fragments found around the world. You knew? Marcus Chen asked, his voice rising. You knew Earth was protected by ancient technology and kept it secret? We had to, Sarah replied. The world wasn't ready. We formed a secret organization to study and maintain the system. We call ourselves the Guardians. She pulled out another document. In 1969, the Apollo missions weren't just about the moon. We found crystal technology there too. The preservers left markers throughout our solar system. Jack shook his head in disbelief. Why tell us now? Because our maintenance has been failing, Sarah admitted. We only understood a fraction of the technology. We've been like children playing with a fusion reactor. The system is too complex for our partial knowledge. That's why you needed us to find the master control, Nora realized. Yes. We've been preparing for this day. Every major government has Guardian members. We've been slowly advancing human technology, using what we learned from the crystals, hoping humanity would develop enough to properly maintain the system. Carlos Rivera spoke up. Your patches and fixes are what's causing the current problems. The system is rejecting your incomplete maintenance protocols. Sarah nodded grimly. We tried our best, but we're out of time. The complete activation sequence you started in Antarctica is our last hope. An alarm sounded. Sarah checked her computer screen and paled. What is it? Jack asked. Yellowstone, she said. The supervolcano is showing activity. If it erupts, the death of millions. Thixall completed. Perhaps the end of human civilization. Sarah stood up. This is why we need you to finish what you started. You have the complete protocols. You understand more than we ever did. But there's more, she continued. The crystals revealed something else during your activation attempt. A message we've never seen before. She pressed a button, and a hologram appeared in the center of the table. It showed a star map with a path marked in blue. The preservers didn't just leave, Sarah explained. They went to a specific location. They're waiting for us to prove we can handle their gift. If we succeed in repairing the system, this map activates fully. They want us to find them? Nora asked. It's the final test, Sarah confirmed. Maintain the sanctuary they created, and earn the right to join them among the stars. The room shook violently. Somewhere above, people screamed. Yellowstone is active, an aide reported, bursting into the room. The crystal network is failing faster than predicted. Jack stood up. Then we need to finish this now. Admiral, get us back to Antarctica. We have a planet to save. Sarah nodded. The Guardians are at your disposal. Everything we've learned, every resource we have. It's time for humanity to claim its inheritance. As they rushed to prepare for their return to Antarctica, none of them knew that the greatest challenge still lay ahead. The Preserver's test was about more than just technical knowledge. It was about humanity's worthiness to join the cosmic community. The world held its breath as news channels showed Mount Vesuvius awakening. Red lava glowed at its peak and ash clouds began forming. Across the Pacific, tsunamis threatened coastal cities. Earth was unleashing disasters it had been holding back for millions of years. Back at the Antarctic Control Center, Dr. Marcus Chen worked frantically with the combined human and alien team. The crystal before them pulsed erratically, its blue light flickering like a dying star. We're missing something, Marcus said, wiping sweat from his forehead despite the freezing temperature. The restart sequence isn't accepting our commands fully. Tixall studied the holographic displays. The system requires more than technical knowledge. It's waiting for something else. Captain Jack Turner coordinated reports from around the world. We have less than 6 hours before Yellowstone reaches critical mass. If that supervolcano erupts— Wait, Dr. Nora Ahmed interrupted. Remember what the message said? About proving our worthiness? What if the system needs to see something from us? Like what? Carlos Rivera asked. Unity, Ambassador Elena Rodriguez said through their communicator. She was at the United Nations where world leaders had gathered. The preservers protected Earth to create a sanctuary. Maybe they want to see if we can work together to maintain it. As if responding to her words, the crystal's display changed. New symbols appeared, showing connections between crystals not just on Earth, but throughout the solar system. It's a network beyond Earth, Marcus realized. The moon crystals, Mars, stations we thought were natural formations. They're all part of the system, and it needs all of humanity to activate, Nora added. Elena's voice came through again. I'm putting you on global broadcast. Tell the world what they need to do. Jack stepped forward. His image appeared on every screen, every device across the planet. People of Earth, he began. We face our greatest challenge. The technology that has protected our planet for millions of years needs our help. But it doesn't just need our scientists or our leaders, it needs all of us. He explained about the crystals, the preservers, and the test humanity faced. As he spoke, something remarkable happened. People around the world stopped panicking and started listening. The crystals respond to human consciousness, Nora explained to the global audience. They were designed to activate fully only when humanity works as one species. We need everyone to focus their thoughts on the same goal, preserving our home. In cities, villages, and remote areas, people joined hands. Religious leaders led prayers. Children held drawings of Earth. Scientists shared data. Artists created music, all focused on one thought, saving their planet. The crystal network responded. Around the world, the ancient machines began to glow brighter. The irregular pulsing steadied into a strong, rhythmic beat. It's working, Carlos shouted. Power levels are rising. The network is accepting our unified command. But Yellowstone continued to build pressure. The supervolcano was too far gone to stop easily. We need more, Marcus said. The system needs to see we can work not just with each other, but with other species. Thicksall understood. He contacted the alien fleet in orbit. All species present, join your thoughts with humanity's. Show the preservers that Earth's children can unite with the galaxy. Ships from dozens of worlds focused their own consciousness-linking technology toward Earth. The crystal network flared with new energy. The master crystal in Antarctica blazed with brilliant light. The restart sequence completed, and waves of energy flowed through the network. Around the world, disasters stopped, volcanoes calmed, earthquakes ceased, tsunamis receded. As stability returned, the star map Sarah had shown them activated fully. It revealed not just a destination, but a gateway technology hidden within the crystal network. The preserver's final gift, Thicksall said with awe. They didn't just protect Earth. They prepared humanity to join the galactic community as equals. Jack looked at his team, at the world celebrating on their screens. We passed the test. Not through technology alone, but by proving we could unite when it mattered most. The crystal displayed a final message. Sanctuary maintained. Caretakers confirmed, welcome to the cosmic family. Earth had earned its place among the stars. 6 months later, Lieutenant Alex Walker stood on the bridge of the starship New Dawn. Through the viewscreen, he could see the planet Kepler 452b, a world much like Earth but plagued by constant geological disasters. Today, humanity would pay forward the gift they had received. Approaching orbital position, his pilot Susan Brooks reported. Crystal deployment teams are ready. Alex nodded. He was leading humanity's first mission to install a disaster prevention system on another world. The knowledge gained from the preservers' technology had advanced human science by centuries, but more importantly, it had given them a purpose. Back on Earth, Dr. Marcus Chen watched from the Global Crystal Control Center. The facility, built where the first crystal had been discovered, now served as headquarters for the new Cosmic Sanctuary program. "Remember, Alex," Marcus said through the comm system, "this planet has intelligent life in its early stages, just like Earth once did. They're counting on us, even if they don't know it yet." "Understood, Doctor," Alex replied. "We won't let them down." The new dawn carried crystal seeds, smaller versions of the massive structures that protected Earth. Human and alien scientists had worked together to replicate the technology, creating systems that could be installed on other worlds. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez entered the control center, accompanied by Thixol. "The Galactic Council is watching closely," she informed Marcus. "This is humanity's first act as an official preserver species." "No pressure," Marcus joked, but his hands were steady as he monitored the deployment. On Kepler 452b, Alex's team began the installation. Engineers from Earth worked alongside specialists from various alien races. They drilled deep into the planet's crust, placing crystal seeds at carefully calculated points. "First seed planted," Carlos Rivera reported from the surface. He had insisted on being part of this historic mission. "Energy patterns are... Wait, something's happening." The seed crystal began to grow, expanding into the surrounding rock. It connected with the planet's natural energy flows, just as the ancient crystals had done on Earth millions of years ago. "It's working," Nora Ahmed exclaimed, from her monitoring station on the New Dawn. "The crystal is adapting to this planet's unique geology." As more seeds were planted, a network began to form. The planet's violent tremors started to calm. Volcanoes that had been active for millennia began to quiet. "Look at this," Alex said, pointing to his scanner. "Deep underground, the crystals. We're discovering something. There are ruins down there. Ancient structures." Marcus leaned forward at his console on Earth. "The preservers were here too. They tried to protect this world, but something went wrong. The crystals interfaced with the ancient technology, repairing and reactivating systems that had failed long ago. As they did, holographic records activated showing images of the original preservers, beings of pure energy who had seeded life across the galaxy. They didn't abandon us, Elena realized. They transcended physical form but left their legacy for others to continue their work. The restoration of Kepler 452b took weeks, but when it was complete, the planet was transformed. Its primitive inhabitants would now evolve in safety, protected from the disasters that might have ended their development. As the New Dawn prepared to leave, a message appeared in the crystal network. It wasn't from Earth or the newly installed system, but from somewhere far beyond known space. First mission successful. Humanity confirmed as preservers. Coordinates for next sanctuary provided. A new star map appeared, showing dozens of worlds that needed protection. Back on Earth, Captain Jack Turner watched the celebration with mixed emotions. They had succeeded beyond their wildest dreams, but the responsibility was enormous. "We're not just protecting planets anymore," he said to Admiral Sarah Thompson. "We're gardening the galaxy, nurturing life wherever we find it." "The preservers chose well," she replied. "Humanity always wondered if we were alone in the universe. Now we know we were never alone. We were being prepared for this." As the New Dawn jumped to hyperspace, heading for its next mission, children on Earth looked up at the stars with new understanding. They weren't just lights in the sky anymore. They were gardens waiting to be tended, and humanity had become the gardeners. The shocking reason Earth had no natural disasters was now clear. It had been a nursery, protected and nurtured until its children were ready to carry on the greatest legacy in the universe, the preservation of life itself.